Hi, welcome to yoga. Today we're going to work on a little bit of mobility and flexibility. So more of an intermediate level. I'm just really working on opening up the hips and the shoulders and some of those moves that help just make our bodies a little bit more able to move through maybe some of the other exercises we do, or some of the other things we do in our day. Mobility and flexibility is going to help with all of that. So we're just going to start shoulder width. We're going to start in that basic mountain pose like we usually do. And we're just going to lift one foot up. So coming into that one-leg mountain, focus today on that mobility. So we're going to start here just with that one leg lifted. Again, just a little bit focused on the balance here. Good. Remember that foot, that planted foot, connecting the balls of the feet, toes of the feet, connecting the heel, almost lifting up with that arch, engaging that quad. Good. And lifting and raising with that upper body. Hands can be wherever you want them. I don't know why I like to put mine sometimes on my belly. It just helps me center, focus on my breath. So holding that up, I'm going to take that hand on the inside of the leg and just start to move it outward. Good. Working on the mobility of that hip. Balance as well. So soft knee on that standing leg. And straighten it a little bit if you can. Opening up that hip, really opening it up. If you can't, just a gentle movement here. And then if you can, we're going to slowly just take it into a nice little circle. Good. So really working that standing leg as well. Focus on balance as well with the mobility and opening up that hip. So just small circles with the knee. Focused on drawing a circle with that knee. Like I'm drawing a circle in the air with my knee. Good. Just opening up the hip. One more. Bring it right back to center if you can. And just lowering it back down to the mat. Shake it out a little bit. Going right into the other leg. So again, my standing leg, I'm planting the balls of my foot, my toes, my heel. I'm just lifting up with the arch, engaging quad, and just lifting that other leg off the mat, about waist high if you can. Good. Just hold here and breathe. Find your center, find your balance. All those shoulders back, really start to kind of lift up with that upper body. So we're not doing much with the upper body, but we still want to focus on keeping our spine and our neck lengthened so we're not hunching or leaning forward or backwards. So straight up here, just take that hand on to the knee. And slowly you're going to open that hip up. Good. So again, we're focused on working the balance, but also the mobility. And these moves, just gentle, easy movements that are just extremely effective. Working those joints and mobilizing the body. So then we're going to start with the circle. So remember, I'm just kind of drawing a circle with my knee. Slow circles, opening up that hip. Good, a couple more. Bring it all the way out to the side. Maybe just hold it off to the side here if we can. Good. I'm going to bring it down to the mat. We're going to go right into a tree pose. So grabbing the opposite leg, bringing the foot inside the thigh if you can. If it needs to be lower on the leg, you can lower on the leg. You want to try to stay off the knee. You can be on the knee, but just be very gentle and focused, and opening up that hip is what we want. So even if the foot is down here, that's fine. What I'm focused on is opening up my hip. So my foot is on the inside of my leg, whether it's up on the thigh or down here on the calf. But as far as mobility, we're going to raise and lengthen with the spine, and we're going to open up that hip. That's where my focus is, opening up that hip. So whether my foot's down there or up here on my thigh, my goal is to open up that hip. So this, a lot of times with my hands, if I'm not focused on them, I'm using them to guide what I want to do with my body. So one hand I'll put on my belly just to sort of center myself. And the other hand, I'm just taking, just gently press that knee open. Just kind of reminds me that that's where my focus is opening up that hip a little bit. So you don't have to do this with your hands, but it does help me. Maybe it'll help you. More breaths here. If you want to go into your full tree pose and raise your arms overhead, you can do that. Get that full stretch with that upper body. Couple more here. Let tree pose hands together. Make me focus on the whole time. But open tree pose, our palms are together and we're opening up those elbows. So you're going to lift that a little bit. The shoulders as well. But if you're not working those hands, it's fine too. Really focus on that hip and opening that hip up. Good. So go ahead and lower that foot. Take the other foot up. Again, doesn't matter how low it is. It can be all the way down here on the calf. Doesn't matter. My main focus is just opening that hip up. So I really want to open the hip. Planted leg. Again, my toes and my ball of my foot and my heel are connected to the mat. Engaging that quad and opening up. So the foot can be wherever you're comfortable. On the inside of the leg, if you can bring it up, bring it up. And again, I'm just going to use my hands to kind of guide and remind me to open that hip up. Squaring the hips, squaring the shoulders. So I'm not going one way or the other and just opening, but lengthening the spine. And it does help with your balance too when you kind of open that hip up. Squaring the body off. Good. You can raise the arms if you're comfortable. If not, and your foot's sliding around like mine, you might need to keep your hands on your leg. More breaths here. I'm sweaty and slippery, so stay here. A couple more breaths. Good. Good. And one more time here, we're just going to switch the weight back over to that other leg. And we're going to do an entire movement. So we're just inhale, lift with the knee, and roll it out. Good. Just doing some big circles with the knee. So combining the balance of the tree pose and the mountain pose here, and just drawing those big, big, big circles with the knee and the hip. That's all we're doing. More here, drawing a giant circle with our knee and opening up the hip. Go ahead, lower that foot, other leg. Just lifting it about waist high and just drawing a giant circle with that knee and opening that hip up. Good. And you can come down to the mat in between if you feel like you're losing your balance a little bit, because again, we're just opening that hip. But if you don't have to come down to the mat, then you're working on that balance. Keep the integrity of the move with the circle with the knee, guiding with the knee. Good. Last one, bring that foot back down to the mat. And we're just going to come all the way down to a seated position. Bring those feet together and come right into just that butterfly pose. So again, working the hips, feet come together, grabbing the feet, opening up the knees, and lengthening with the spine. So sit up. Really come up onto those sit bones and opening up those knees. Big deep inhale through the nose, exhale. We open the legs. I always try to come a little bit deeper into my poses on my exhale. Stay here and breathe, lengthen. Good time to lengthen through the spine and focusing on lengthening that neck. Roll those shoulders back. Stay here, keep those hips open. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One big deep inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale through the mouth. Good. And staying in this position. And I'm going to stay this way so you can see what my legs are doing. I'm just going to take my hands and put them behind me or to this side of me on the mat. Good. And I'm going to start to position my legs. So one foot is just going to come almost like with tree pose on the inside of my thigh here. Other foot's going to bend back where I'm comfortable. Good. Coming onto the sides of my feet. And I'm just going to do that nice roll. the opposite side. So I'm opening up my hips and rolling. All I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to start gently. Just gentle movement. And as you start to widen, you get deeper into this one. But right now it's just a nice gentle movement just to get you comfortable with the position. So just rolling and opening up those hips. Good. Inhale, exhale, and roll. Just rolling and dipping those knees. Good. Last one. Turn that body, face the front of my mat. Come right back into that butterfly pose. So feet come together. Grabbing my feet with my hands. Opening up into that butterfly pose. Really going to lift with my chest here. I'm going to place my hands on behind my back. I come up onto my fingertips just because I'm short, but if you can flatten those palms, that's up to you. But I'm going to place my hands here and just really lengthen through the spine. Good. So same idea with the butterfly pose, only my hands are behind me. And I'm starting now to open up my chest and my shoulders as well. So keeping the integrity of the butterfly pose and lengthening through the spine and opening up those knees and those hips. And then starting to focus on opening up that chest and the heart as well. Just stay here and breathe. Fingertips are pointed backwards. Just reminds me to open that chest up. And if this is too much for you, you can keep the hands on the feet and focus on only the hips. But if you're able to focus on opening up those chest and the shoulders, this is a great pose for that. So strengthening, lifting with the spine and the neck. Go and pick deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, we're just going to crawl those fingers forward. So crawling forward, just as far as you're comfortable. Keeping the legs open, feet together. Good, not forcing anything, just really stretching through those hips. Opening up those hips. Stay here and breathe. Deep inhale, exhale here. Good, big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, come up to sitting. Good, and then we're just going to take it back. So keeping those feet together, stay in that butterfly pose. You're going back onto the back. Keeping the legs open, hips open. I'll go ahead and bring those hands to the belly. Feet stay together, knees stay open. And just breathe. Big deep inhale through the nose. And then on my exhale, I'm going to raise those hands up over my head. And begin the palm. Or my palm of my back towards the belly. Ribs are up on my ears. So whatever I focus on opening up. Even though I'm laying on my back, I can open my chest up, almost bringing those hands to like a half cactus arm. And just really opening up that chest. Good. Keeping those feet together, knees wide. More breath here. And slowly start to close the knees. Bring those feet to the mat. I'm going to take one foot and cross it over. So gently lift, cross it over my right knee. Gently start opening up that left hip. So again, I use my hands. My opposite hand is going to come to my stomach, so that's where I focus on my breath. And then I'm going to take my other hand and gently just use it to open up that hip. That's all I'm doing, is opening up my hip. So a little bit of pressure with my hand. You don't have to do the pressure with your hand. You can. And just really pressing and opening that left side of the hip up. And that's all we're doing right now. Good. I'm going going to take that same hand, I'm going to reach in between opening in the leg and grab the back of my thigh here. Taking my opposite hand, bringing it around, clasping my fingers together. And your head and your back are going to stay back on the mat. I know I'm sitting up there. And just gently pulling on the back of that thigh, not forcing, gently pulling. Connect that lower back to the mat, opening up that hip from the cross legs. Really opening up that hip, not forcing anything. But as you pull on the back of that thigh, pulling that knee towards the chest, really opening up that left hip. Stay here and breathe, don't force. Deep inhale here through the nose. Exhale, I'm going to gently lower my foot back down to the mat. And I'm going to take that top leg that's crossed over into a half happy baby pose. So I'm just grabbing the inside of my foot and bringing my knee up next to my waist. So the knee is bent, bring it up next to my waist and grab the inside of my foot. Go ahead and flip my hand around and grab the outside, grab it by the outside, it's a little bit easier. And my knee is bent and I'm just gently really focused on that opposite leg. I'm not have my foot on the mat, that's all I'm really caring about there. But I want this leg, knees towards me, lower back pressing into the mat, and I'm pulling on that top foot, just gentle pull to where I'm opening up that knee and that I'm really opening up that hip. So it's just a half happy baby. So in happy baby, I have both my legs to the side. We're just focused on this one side right now. And really just gently pulling that knee and that foot towards the body. Opening up that hip. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, we're going to gently lower that leg up to the mat. Good. Taking the opposite foot, opposite leg, crossing it over. Once again, I just bring my hand to my stomach and the opposite hand, same side as my knee. I start to gently press that knee open and open up that hip. So just gentle pressure. The knee and the leg, opening that hip up. That's all we're doing right now. Maybe I scoot this foot, opposite foot a little closer to my rear, keeping my foot flat on the mat and just gently pressing up that hip. Good. I'm going to take that same hand, place it between the legs, so reach between the legs, grab behind my thigh on my opposite leg, opposite hand comes around, clasps underneath. Good, big hand, and just gently pulling towards my body and opening, really opening up that hip. Gentle movement, nothing forced. Hips become more flexible, you'll be able to pull a little bit more towards the body. If it's just a gentle pull for now, that's fine. A couple deep breaths here. More big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, I lower that foot back down to the mat. And we're going to come into that half baby. So I'm going to grab my foot. Start on the inside is where I start, just to sort of guide my hip open. So I start with my hand on the inside and I guide that hip open. So keeping my lower back connected to the mat so that I'm not pulling this way. My lower back connected to the mat and I just gently start to open that hip. Knees bent, hip is open. And then once I'm here, I open up my hand and bring it around to the outside of my foot. And that way I can really just start to focus on tugging that knee towards the mat and really opening that hip. Just a gentle pull, stretching that hip. Happy baby, we have both of our hips and feet open. And sometimes when I do use just one side, one leg at a time, it really helps us focus on the structure of the pose. And that way when we're doing it with both limbs, a little bit more balanced and focused on what we need to doing until we work out our kinks. I was just doing one side. Just listen. Stay in the breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Extend the neck. Good. And we're just going to take those knees. Bring them to the chest. Nice little resting pose here. Grabbing the knees with the hands. Hugging my knees. And letting my lower back connect with the mat. And breathe. Good. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, we're going to come into that full happy baby pose. So what I like to do, just to get myself into the pose, is starting at where I'm hugging my knees here. Got both my hands on my knees. And I gently just pull my knees apart. So that's all I'm doing, is pull my knees apart. And then I reach up and grab the feet, outsides of the feet, and pull them towards the mat. Making sure my lower back stays connected with the mat. Opening up those hips. Opening up those feet. Good. And just hold and breathe. Deep breaths here. Big deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, go ahead and lift those knees right back into the center. And I'm going to take my left hand over to my right knee. And I'm just going to let both of my knees fall across my body. So my knees are stacked. And I'm going to fall across my body. My opposite arm is going to reach to the side. And I'm going to take my gaze over that opposite hand. Just working on the spine, the mobility of the spine. So important. Breathe and breathe. It's a nice stretch through the glute area and the hamstrings. And this one, that simple twist, really helps with all of that, as well as the mobility of the spine and the hips. Big inhale from the nose. And then exhale, bring those knees back to center. Taking the opposite hand over to the opposite knee. And again, just letting the knees fall to the side. Opposite hand comes out. And the gaze follows the hand. My palm over here. And just stay and breathe. More deep breaths here. Center. And just hugging those knees one more time. Good. And then for our last pose today, we're going to come up into cow pose, which is one of a little bit more difficult poses, but if you can learn to master it, it really help with everything. Mobility, flexibility. This is one of those magic youth poses that helps our pieces stay young. So go ahead and lift those feet up like we're doing legs up a wall. That's how we're going to start. So legs just come straight up in the air, just like they're leaning up against a wall. Lower back is flat against the mat right now. We're just going to stay here for a second. Just aligned, get our bodies aligned. Good. And then what I'm going to do is lift my hips. So I'm not forcing anything. And again, if this is one of those poses that's uncomfortable for you, you can stay in the legs up a wall. If you're able to lift your legs up. Go ahead, lift your legs up. I'm going to take my pinkies. I'm going to align them to my spine. So I have my pinkies on one side, either side of my spine, and my hands pushing up through my lower back, and just letting those legs fall over my head. Take the tension out of the neck. So you scrunch your neck up. You don't want to do that. Put my elbows in if I can. Just hold it here and breathe and go ahead and keep those legs up and keep that legs up wall, because if you're not able to do this, hold up. So Or great pose, circulation, mobility, everything. Working those hands down and just lifting with those hips. Here. And exhale, we're going to roll. So come right back to the legs of the wall. Straight up in the air. Connect again with that lower back to the nose, centering the body. And we're just going to stay right here. And breathe. This is one of those great poses you can do with your legs actually linked up against the wall, or just flying in the air but lifting this up over the heart. It's going to be very, very, very effective. And that plow pose is one of the more difficult poses, but if you're able to keep practicing, it's a very effective pose once you get comfortable. Have more big deep breath here. And we're going to lower the feet, lower the legs, straighten them out, and come back into that final Savasana pose. So legs are straight, hands are off to the side, palms up. Good, shake it out. Connect with the body, head to toe, and big deep inhale through the nose. Good, exhale through the mouth. You just start to melt. Melt, 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 melt. Melting into the mat. Good. Big inhale. And exhale, release, release, release. Big deep inhale. And exhale, release. And you can stay here in this pose for as long as you like. And moving. Reach on back up. Return. And fix your hair. Namaste.